You need to watch this. This is the Serbian president talking about how close we are to a direct conflict with Russia, and the time frame's not looking good.
How close are we now to a third world war, a confrontation?
I cannot say a third world war, but that big confrontation, how far we are, I believe that we are not far away from it. Not more than 3-4 months. And there is a danger to happen even before that.
And a danger to happen even before that. So we're looking at potentially a time frame. I mean, this guy's a leader of a country. Potential time frame 3-4 months before we're in some kind of direct conflict. Depending on then what happens with the conflict and what weapons NATO utilizes against Russia, if Russia starts to feel pushed back, this is when they're going to start getting tactical nuclear. Listen to what it says next.
Vocabulary is very crass. The vocabulary is very tough on all sides, especially also on the European side. Will you participate in this conference in Switzerland? Do you think this is a good conference without the Russian side taking place?
I have discussed that with Volodymyr. I was discussing it with Chinese. We still haven't made our decision, but we'll see. We'll see what level, who might come, who might not come. We'll have the decision in a few days.
There's some kind of peace conference that's going to be going on. This video was posted 4 days ago. So there's some kind of peace conference going on between the world leaders in Switzerland. Now we'll see what happens. Now we all know what happened last time that Zelensky and Putin sat down and actually was going to come to some kind of an agreement to stop this whole shitstorm from happening. And it was Boris Johnson and Joe Biden that basically flew to Ukraine and put a stop to the peace deal, saying that we won't give an inch of Ukrainian land across. So this all could have been stopped a long time ago if it wasn't for our world leaders, but we all know why that is. And it gets interesting. Listen to what he says next.
But I would like to see both sides around the table, to be very honest.
Do you have an explanation why we are living in such crazy times right now? I think this is the craziest period.
It's easy, dear friend, to see it. You have totally different interests. You have conflicting interests of big powers. There is a big power on the rise, which is China, which has a lot of conflicting interests with the United States of America. US and Europe, let me call it collective West, would like to preserve everything they worked for, everything they had in the last 300 years.
300 years now. What has they collectively been working towards for the past 300 years? 300 years is quite a specific time frame, because if you go and you look at this, the Rothschilds started the first banks. When was this? Oh, nearly 300 years ago. So a group has been working towards something for the last 300 years. Who's that going to be? Let's get back to this.
And the other people are seeking for, from their point of view, more justice, more equal world, and with the wish of preservation and desire of change, have to conflict, and totally different economic and political interests. And the world.
What are the different economic and political interests? You've obviously got the West, which has got all of the power and pretty much all of the money. You've got the Chinese rising up, and then Russia sat somewhere in the back. Political interests, you might be hinting at things like, I don't know, all of the mad shit that's going on with, you know, radical wokeism and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, if change is coming, then basically the elite are not going to like it. And that's what all this is about. Nothing to do with them invading Ukraine. Russia invaded Ukraine for a specific reason, was to potentially stop the elite from doing this, because the elite are trying to preserve their power that they've generated over the last 300 years plus. And Putin and Xi Jinping know what the crack is, and they basically are going in to stop it, or we are provoking Russia in such a way so that we can take over Russia. And the Ukraine was the last straw.
It's changing, although we don't want to accept it and we don't want to admit that, but it is changing on a daily basis and much faster than ever before. And when you have this kind of conflicting interests and contradicting interests, then you get close to big clashes and to big wars. And I don't see the way how someone can stop it. And would like to see that more than anything else, to tell you the truth. Today I was checking all the data about our reserves on oil, I don't know, even from...
And basically this goes on from there, saying how his arse is twitching because even he is wondering if they're going to have enough supplies to survive this. So if a full-blown country is prepping, you should be prepping, because I've got a video coming up on next, which is about what actually it will look like if a nuclear apocalypse was to happen, and there's going to be a lot of people that survive. So you need to prep, you need to get all your shit in order, because these guys have got a plan. The plan is going through. He knows it, Putin knows it, Xi Jinping knows it. They're trying to actively stop it, which is why we're in this mess in the first place. All the elite have got bunkers. These guys know something, and if things can be survived in a bunker, then they're expecting something to come out to. That's what they're going to do. It's the Great Reset. But basically the time frame that he's looking at potentially is 4 months. So you've got 4 months to get your shit together and start, stockpiling food. 3 weeks is what I'm expecting. 3 weeks worth of water, 3 weeks worth of food, and get yourself some duct tape. A lot of people took the piss in the comments, but at the end of the day, if nukes do drop, you're going to have to seal your house up, because if it's not sealed and the radiation comes in, it's not going to be pretty. Also, a lot of you guys were asking for the other video that I did for the full interview. Now, TikTok doesn't allow links to go in descriptions that actually work, so it's going to be on YT, on my channel on YT. So go over to my YT, subscribe there, and I'm going to repost this video over there, and the full link to this full interview is going to be in the description in that video, because the BoobaTuber allows it. So there we go, guys. Thank you for watching, and if you want to learn how to prep and survive, then hit me a follow, because I've got another video coming up where I've actually been mapping nukes, all the different nukes, different sizes. And to be fair with you, a lot of you are very, very skeptical that, a nuclear apocalypse is survivable. For what I've seen on this map, a nuclear explosion is relatively small to a landmass of England. And even when I dropped a nuke on a lot of cities in the UK, there were still a lot of people surviving. And that video is going to be coming up soon. So hit the follow button if you want to see.